In this video, I dissect President Erdogan of Turkey's speech about children killed in Gaza, the silence of the Western nations, Israel war crimes, and plans to send troops to fight for the Palestinian people, plus next-level biblical understanding. Let's go.
No one can do it better.
I want you to stay with me because I want you to listen to something. We've heard from the president of Turkey. They've just dispatched 10 planes with power generators and medical supplies and healthcare providers to Gaza. I'm assuming that is to the, at least to the Egyptian side of the border with Gaza. We'll find that out. The country is also offering to treat the injured in Turkey. President Erdogan has spoken, showing his support for Palestine.
Children from Palestine are the same as children from Israel. A child is a child regardless of their nationality. It's a disgrace to remain silent in the face of killing children. If we don't speak out, this is on our conscience. We defend humanity and the right to dignity. We can't allow more children to die. Turkey has always taken a balanced stance, and our position towards Palestine is just and rightful. Those in the West who don't speak the truth, they're indebted to Israel, but Turkey is not indebted to Israel. We will continue to voice the truth and what's right.
Well, Turkey has long played a very significant role in and around the Gulf. But of course, with this conflict, what role do you think it can play and what kind of influence do you think it might have?
Turkey has or can play a very important role, given its, first of all, Turkey is a member of NATO. At the same time, historically, it had, I would say, warm, good relationships with Hamas, because it recognizes Hamas as a political party, a military party that's its main goal is to liberate Palestine. It doesn't look to Hamas as ISIL or any other organizations. This tendency in the West to mix Hamas with ISIL and etc. So in the case, let's say, if there is a ceasefire or there is a need to create a buffer zone or a presence of a third party to diffuse the conflict, Turkey could play this role because it has excellent relation with Israel. It's a NATO member as well, a NATO country member. It's well accepted and received by Hamas as well as a country because of its political relations with the movement. Now, when it comes to this aid, I think it's good, but it's not enough. You can bring all aid now and mass it on the Egyptian borders, but the fact that Israel still controls and have a final say in what to come in and what comes in or leaves out of Gaza, that's already a violation of any good principles of aid conduct in the world. Because in these particular circumstances, Israel is attacking Gaza, so it should not be in control of any aid mechanisms because of its responsibilities and because, of course, it wants to see Gaza demolished. So it doesn't make any sense. So there has to be more pressure by the international community to allow aid freely entering Gaza and to get these guarantees from Israel that it will not interfere in the delivery of aid in Gaza. Otherwise, it will be symbolic, but I don't know how is this good for an average Palestinian who's standing on the other side of the borders with Egypt, seeing all these trucks of aid, all these hospitals waiting, and they cannot get access to it. And it's just like, in the eyesight. So what difference would this make? What's good for them if they cannot really have access to this aid and enjoy it? So
one of the things that we can't forget, of course, is that Hamas was also responsible for administering Gaza. It was responsible for running hospitals and schools and so on.
Here is some other vital information you need to know. President Erdogan threatens to declare war on Israel and send military to Gaza in chilling warning. The Turkish president suggested in a speech at a pro-Palestinian rally that Turkey can come at any night unexpectedly. Turkey's president appears to have threatened to intervene in Gaza in an impassioned speech at a pro-Palestinian rally. He told attendees Israel was responsible for war crimes. Absolutely, anybody that's blind can see that, and framed Hamas as freedom fighters, which they are because the Palestinian people have been under occupation for 67 years in modern times. And remember, Christ and the house of Judah was under occupation as well 2,000 years ago when the Romans, besieged Israel. So Christ also lived under an occupation, just as the Palestinians are living under now. It's just a continuation. In comments that have prompted Israeli outcry and led the country to withdraw its diplomatic presence, President Erdogan suggested assaults on Gaza constituted a massacre. I agree with that 1,000%. I have not seen one Hamas fighter pulled from the rubble yet. I have seen numerous children. I have seen numerous women. I have seen numerous men pulled from the rubble of the complete destruction of Gaza. Though the scriptures do say Gaza will be destroyed, that was a prophecy that we're going through right now as I speak. In the same speech, he reportedly said that Turkey can come at any night unexpectedly to ecstatic reception from hundreds of thousands of attendees. That's the thing that they're not calculating, that Israel, the United States, the UK, the West is not calculating, is that they're making more freedom fighters than the supposed ones that they're killing, even though they're only killing Palestinian civilians. I mean, I need to see the bodies of these Palestinian fighters, these Hamas fighters that they've killed. I haven't seen one yet. I have not seen one Hamas fighter yet pulled from the rubble. Not one. This is a travesty. The whole world is on trial for allowing this to happen. This is beyond ridiculous. Everybody's at risk. If they can do that to these people, these defenseless Palestinian people, and remember, over 50% of them are children. 80% of them live below the poverty line. If you can do this to this defenseless people, where half of them are children, nobody is safe. Think about that. Nobody is safe. There's even Israelis now that are coming out protesting and marching against what's being done to these Palestinian people. You got to stand for something. I stand with the Palestinians. In the footage which shows the pro-Palestinian crowd responding with a chant, Turkish military to Gaza. And one of the things I think is that this rally in Turkey, it's a way for the president to take the temperature of his people, of the people there, to see would they be behind him sending the military. This is often done because he's got to gauge that so there isn't some sort of public backlash against what he's doing. He wants to have his people behind him, and I think he just got the confirmation that he needed from the Turkish people to send the military into Gaza and save these defenseless Palestinian children and people that are being massacred in front of the entire world. This is an outrage, what's going on, what they're doing to these people. It is a complete outrage. All of you should be outraged. All of you should be doing something to stand for these defenseless people. Thousands of people are seen waving a combination of Turkish and Palestinian flags from the venue in Istanbul, where he was speaking to the people attending the Great Palestine meeting. Erdogan said, "From now on, we will continue on our path with the motto that we may suddenly knock on your door one night." That's chilling. In the same speech, Erdogan accused Israel of carrying out war crimes in Gaza, I agree, and compared the country's actions to the Nazi genocide against the Jews. Exactly. See, the thing is, when you're put in a position of leadership, one of the big challenges, and as well, this applies to rulership in heaven, that we're going to apply, those of us that will be having rulership positions, is that you cannot do the same evils that were done to you when you are given a position of leadership. So for the Israelis to be genociding the Palestinian people when they were genocided by the Nazis in Germany is a double evil. It shows that they are not capable of leadership. You see that? You cannot become what you hate. You cannot become what you detest. You have to overcome and supersede the evils that were done to you and use that in your abilities of leadership so you don't repeat the same evils that were done, or else you do not belong in any position of leadership or rulership because you are unfit. And trust me, Christ is looking at that. He's going to be judging all of our hearts. He's preparing some of us for those positions, and how we react here on earth is going to determine what he's going to be able to give us in eternity. Because like the scriptures say, we all fall short of the glory of the Father. So, you know what I'm saying? Through our sins and whatnot, and through our actions, we fall short. So also, we fall short in the leadership, in the rulership roles that he wants to give us in heaven by our actions here on earth. That's why I'm preparing myself for leadership and rulership daily in eternity. I want the Father to know that he can trust me in these positions of high rulership and know that I'm going to do the right thing and I'm going to honor him in the decisions that he's going to be entrusting me to make. Because remember, Father has a court. It's called the heavenly courts. The Father has a court in heaven. He does things in a judicial manner, even though he can do it all by himself if he wants to, but he does things in a judicial manner. There is a court. That's why there's the 24 elders in his throne room with him as well. Erdogan claims that Israel has been openly committing war crimes for the duration of this siege in Gaza, and he alleges a similar mentality was being shown to the Axis members during World War II. He said in the past they were massacring the Jewish people in the gas chambers, and they were indeed wiping out whole regions with bombs. I agree. How can you not agree? The Turkish premier then added, a similar mentality is being shown in Gaza today. Exactly. They have become the evil that they detest in terms of the Ish people. You just can't do that. You won't be blessed for that. In response to Israel's action, Mr. Erdogan said his government was preparing to tell the whole world that Israel is a war criminal. Only a fool wouldn't agree with that. Well, let's hear from some foolish people. The speech went down poorly with Israeli officials, who quickly responded by withdrawing diplomatic staffers from Turkey. Israeli Foreign Minister Eli Cohen said the statements coming from Turkey had led him to conduct a reevaluation of the relations between Israel and Turkey. He said in a statement, given the grave statements coming from Turkey, I have ordered the return of diplomatic representatives there in order to conduct a reevaluation of the relations between Israel and Turkey. That ain't gonna faze anybody. That's not gonna faze anybody. Real quick, you guys, this is some content on my channel I know that you're gonna love. Kat Von D leaves the darkness, steps into the light of Christ. AI imagines Christ's face from Turin's shroud. Do the images match the scriptures? Full biblical breakdown. Coach Prime inspiring a nation #4. Coach Prime wears Christ on his sleeve, and I apply biblical scriptures to his motivational speeches, as well as press conferences and the like. U.S. builds world's first billion-dollar prison as homelessness and hunger runs rampant, and Hamas takes 14 settlements from Israel. This is major military analysis. All praises to the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. This is Crown Prince Media. I am the Crown Prince. Let's go.
No one can do it better.